Hello there, Team Life Changers, and welcome to our Monday night team call. I am super excited tonight because we have a guest speaker. So we had a team call last week, and we were discussing just, team things, and everybody's kind of like brainstorming. And then all of a sudden, one of our coaches just starts like coming out with all of this plethora of knowledge when it comes to Shakeology, and we're like, how do you know all of this stuff? She's like, well, I've done a research and I know everything there is to know about Shakeology. Yeah. You do. Anybody that searches every like superfruit that contains Shakeology, she knows her stuff. So I'm like, will you please lead a team call? So I am going to turn the call over to our very own Tammy McCullough. Did I pronounce your last name right?
Yeah.
All right, girl. So thank you so much for leading the team call tonight.
Well, thank you for letting me. I appreciate it. I definitely don't know everything, but I've definitely done some homework. Because this thing has got me intrigued. I've been really intrigued. I've only been doing this since October, and I pretty much just would have done whatever you told me to do in October. So I had no idea what I was doing really, but I've really gotten into studying this because when I started doing this in October, I was already doing a protein shake. I've been doing shakes for years. I've done all kinds of shakes. I just did them because they were protein. They help you lose weight. So I was like, okay, whatever, So, when I started doing this Shakeology and drinking it, like I said, I just did it because it was part of the plan and I do what you tell me to do. And so I just did it. And now after, being a coach for a few months, I get a lot of people asking me questions and they want to know why they have to spend so much money for this shake every month. And I don't really have an answer for them because there's a ton of shakes on the market and all I know it's called a superfood shake. Well, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. They don't really know what that means. And so, I started looking into it. My mom has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease and she struggles with arthritis and a bunch of other stuff. And so I just thought, well, you know what? I've got to figure out what is in this thing because I hear a lot of stuff about it. And my biggest problem in selling packages to people is the shake. They're like, well, why do I have to buy that shake? And why is it so expensive? So I just wanted to figure out for myself, what was the big deal. And if you watch a Shakeology commercial or if you just see, a little blurb about it, I mean, we all know that, you get more energy, you get healthier, that it definitely has protein and it helps with your cravings and all that's fine and good, but that still doesn't justify spending $130 or $140 a month for somebody. So I just literally walked in my kitchen and I do the chocolate vegan and I just took the ingredients and I'm like writing down on a piece of paper and just trying to figure out, okay, what makes this thing so special? And so when I started seeing the ingredients and some of the benefits of these, what they call superfoods and superfruits and all that, I was just overwhelmed. I mean, I literally wrote down the top, 10 or 12 ingredients on my bag. And when I saw the benefits and things that they helped with, I immediately called my mom and I'm like, you have got to take this shake. I know to you, because they're retired, I know it's a little bit of money for you, but like, you've got to take this shake. I mean, we're talking, there's benefits of helping, with chemotherapy, helping with cancer, with arthritis and all these things that I thought, you really need this right now. Stop taking all those supplements and let's see if we can, get you on this. So what I did is I'm just going to kind of go through my notes with you guys because there's so much information on Shakeology I could never really begin to know. So what I did is jotted down some notes today over the things that I've learned, and I'm going to try to stick with those so I don't get off on rabbit trails because it's really made me passionate about it because, I understand with the family that we spend a lot of money because to us, it seems like a lot of money, but at the end of the day, it's not a lot of money, a few dollars a day for our health and to invest in us. So I'm committed to figuring out what is the special thing behind this shake. And then now I've been trying to portray this to my customers before we ever even talk price, before we ever even talk package, because all they say is, so you drink a protein shake and then you what? Work out? Like that's what you do. So this has really changed everything about how I approach people. So, one of the biggest things that I've learned through this is everything we have in has protein in it, it seems like. And that's all we hear about. Like the more you eat, the more protein you get. If you're going to work out, you got to have this much protein. Well, I've learned that even your body can only digest so many grams of protein at a time anyway. And so Shakeology's taken all that into consideration. Skipping meals, obviously, this is our meal replacement. So one of the first things that I wrote down, the biggest thing is the protein, because that's what everybody talks about. And Shakeology uses 6 different kinds of proteins in our shake. And if you talk to anybody who's done a protein shake before, they're going to say, oh, it's got to have soy in it, or it's got to have whey in it. And yes, it does have some whey in it. But what we've learned, or what I've learned about these protein blends, they're all superfood proteins, not just your normal grocery store protein blends that you find. And the benefits of the proteins that Shakeology uses, I was finding that helps diabetes, they help your bone health, they help vision, they help your joints, they help with your heart, your brain, not only just weight loss, they also help your cholesterol and serotonin, which, we call the feel-good hormone that you get. All of that from just the proteins that they use, because they use superfood proteins. And I won't go and try to pronounce all the fancy names that they use, but the proteins that they put in there make them special. And so the next thing I doing my research are what they call the super fruits, which are the antioxidants that they put in there. And that helps, all the chemicals and stuff that we go through, and not just what we eat and the things that we put in our body, but even in the air, the pollution. I mean, if you're ever around people who are smoking or even vaping these days, all those chemicals that are in the air, our body takes those in, and that's how we get cancers, and that's how we get inflammation and digestive issues. Well, we take these antioxidants, and that's what Shakeology calls super fruits, to help fight those things. Well, after looking at all the superfruit ingredients that Shakeology puts in there, when I Googled each one of them individually, I came up with vision, again, high blood pressure, inflammation, your gums, health for your gums, mood swings, helps you with your mood swings. And I'm thinking, like, this is crazy to think that all these natural things help fight all that junk that we get in our body in a natural way. Again, there's like 11 or 12 different super fruits that they put in every single Shakeology. I thought that was amazing. It helped just bring, balance to our bodies. The third thing were the super greens, which we all probably are familiar with that one. That's one of the most common. The super greens they put in there, mostly just plants. The benefits of those, these were the ones that were really impressive. The arthritis, helps treat cancer, blood issues, joint issues, anemia, hormone function. This is the one that negates the effects of chemo, lowers your blood pressure. And I found 5 different vital super greens that they put into each Shakeology. So I was finding that I add super greens to my shake every day, but now I'm learning that some of these that extras that I'm like, you don't even have to put those in there. And I've even read that they say that you don't even have to do a multivitamin if you do your shake. At least once a day, because of the ingredients. Because a lot of these other shakes, after looking at different ones and comparing them, they put normal vitamins and minerals, the same things you'll get in a multivitamin. The problem with the multivitamins is they're so processed that by the time they get to you and get in your system and get digested, all you're getting, if you're getting any of the nutrients, you're just getting gelatin and just junk that goes in your body. And the great thing about Shakeology is the way we're getting these, they are minimally processed. And I'll talk more about that in a minute, but the way they process it, the chances of it keeping and maintaining the nutrients in every single thing they put in there is nearly 100%, because the way they do it. They've really done their homework. And they say that they spend millions of dollars in testing every single year, which a lot of people don't do that. Now, I mean, I don't know if that's the truth or not. I would think it's the truth, but I think that's pretty impressive that they continue to test their product. They even go personally to every country. This Darren Olean that you've probably seen with Shakeology, who's one of the founders, he actually goes in person to these countries all over the world and actually touches every single ingredient that's put in here. He talks to the farmers. They test the soil that it's in. Like, what other company do you hear do that? Like, nobody does that. You're not going to hear it from any of these at GNC or Walmart. It's like, you don't hear about that. And I thought, I mean, to be called a superfood hunter, like, I think that'd be pretty amazing to go to these places and, to be able to do that. So I've been very impressed with the way that, he personally picks out and touches and tests every single one of these products. The fourth thing are the adaptogens, which a lot of you, again, may know about. These I love the most because these help us adapt and respond to stress. So little if you know it or not, the shake that you're drinking helps you with your mental balance, your emotional well-being. It just helps keep you in check if there's any kind of stress in your body. And it could be, any kind of stress. It could be mental, emotional, environmental, any type of stress. These adaptogens help you with your emotional well-being. So some of the benefits of there's like 7 different adaptogens that they use. Good for a low immune system. So if you get sick easily, this would be awesome for that. Inflammation, cells that are associated with brain cancer or breast cancer, fatigue, diabetes, infertility, increased endurance. And I'm sure some of these things that I'm mentioning, you've probably heard one of your customers or challengers or even coaches say they've dealt with some of these sicknesses. I even dealt with infertility myself, and it's like you just don't think of natural things like this in a shake that you can drink every day. It's really just been a wow moment for me to hear of all of this. The fifth thing are the pre and probiotics that they put in there and the digestive enzymes. These are obviously for our digestive system. And, I read through one of the people talking about the Shakeology. They said a mental and emotional fatigue are a result of a breakdown in the body. And I know we all go through that as women with hormonal things. So we're, sometimes, we're just emotionally tired. We're just mentally tired. This is because of some type of breakdown in your body. It could be because of stress, it could be because of a nutrition, whatever it might be, it's still a breakdown in your body. And they put pre and probiotics in every single batch of Shakeology to help with that. And if you have these type of fatigues in your body, which a lot of us do, this is how we get inflammation, candida, which like yeast infection with women, digestive issues, again, more women, because I feel like with women, as moms, we worry a lot. We have a lot more stress levels, a lot more responsibilities. And so I thought this was really important because, again, probiotics are something we all take. A lot of us take extra supplements for probiotics. There's drinks that are probiotics these days. So a lot of those things, again, are already in this shake that we're drinking. And the pre and probiotics, some of the benefits I looked through, there's 9 different ones that they use in Shakeology. Regulates your blood sugar, weight loss, liver health, reduces stress, anti-inflammatory, diabetes. I know Jackie's, my best friend, she's one of the coaches also under me. And she even had liver trouble before. And after a few months on Shakeology, she just went and had another test done just a month, 6 weeks ago. I don't know what it was, but her liver score is perfect. Like no more issues since she's been taking this shake. So, her blood pressure, she told me just today, has changed. So I'm seeing it firsthand by doing these things. And it's just been crazy to see that all the things that we get in here are all natural. They're all hand-picked. There's nothing processed. One of the important things about processing and what people talk about is the heat. You've probably heard it before, like don't boil your vegetables on the stove. Don't cook them in the microwave because it destroys all the nutrients. And one of the first things I investigated about Shakeology, because I have known that fact before, and the super greens that I buy already before Shakeology, I investigated to see how they dried and did their processing. But Shakeology uses hardly no heat processing. They use a low amount heat processing. They do sun drying. They do no radiation. A lot of things that come from foreign countries like that get radiation. They get light therapy on them where they shine down lights to dry them out. Shakeology doesn't do anything. Everything is low temperature or sun or air dried, which means every bit of the nutrients or as much as they can keep in there that they keep in there. And there's also another ingredient that they put in there. And I don't know much about this one, and I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. It's called MSM, which really doesn't mean anything to us, but they actually put this extra enzyme in there to help retain the nutrients and the vitamins in there to make sure that when we drink it, that it's as fresh as can be. And I love that about that they took the time. So all that to tell you this, that when people ask me, no, I don't drink a protein shake. No, I drink a nutritional shake. That's what I drink. It's not a weight loss shake. Yes, that's going to be one of the effects. You know, you're going to get a benefit of losing weight because you're replacing a meal with all of these nutrients. So I make sure when I tell people, you know, no, it's a nutrition shake, but let me tell you about this shake before I tell you about the package and before I tell you how much it costs, because you need to know first and foremost what it's going to do for you. And, you know, and a lot of times, you know, we've been taught, and Rebecca teaches us, we ask questions. So when people come to us and they, they're like, well, how much does your package cost? Well, we start asking them questions. Well, what are you looking for? What's your fitness goals? What's your health like now? What's your eating like now? You know, 99% of the time, we're going to hear one of these things that I've brought up tonight in their description of their life right now. They're tired. They have no energy. You know, they have diabetes. They have high cholesterol. You know, they're going to mention that's why they're wanting your help, because most people don't just say, well, I'm healthy, I just want to be a part of a team, you know, or I'm healthy, I just want to buy your Shakeology. Like, they just don't say that. So when I was going through all these benefits, is like, all of these will relate somehow to somebody. So it'd be the perfect opportunity when somebody says one of these things to you to say, well, listen, this nutrition shake that we drink is full of superfoods and superfruits. And guess what? There's this ingredient in there that is perfect for fatigue, and it's perfect for your liver. It's perfect to help lower your blood pressure or high cholesterol or whatever it is. And that way it leads you into, and you don't have to go into all these details we talked about, but I wanted to tell you some of the terminology that I've learned and some of the benefits, so you can take these benefits now and act like we know what we're talking about when they say that to us, because we're never going to be able to tell people all this stuff that I've written down and told you tonight. But there are a few key things that I wanted to point out that I've had people ask me. There is no caffeine in Shakeology. It is caffeine free. They do put green tea in it, but they take out the caffeine from that green tea. So very important, because I've had a lot of people say to me, well, I can't have caffeine, you know, or I got to be careful with my there's no caffeine in Shakeology. Also, it does have sugar, but it has real sugar, fructose sugar, which allows your body to every bit of nutrients that come from that leads it straight to your liver. So there's no chance of the high fructose corn syrup. It's all non-GMO, whatever, you know, the GI, the glycemic index, or whatever all that stuff is. This is real fructose, and it's a very, very small amount. So even people with diabetes, this is good for them as well. The only protein it has in it that people might recognize that's not a superfood is whey protein. It's a minimal amount of whey protein, and it's free of antibiotics. I saw a huge post that somebody just posted, I don't remember where, but said Shakeology has whey protein and it's full of antibiotics, and I won't buy it for that reason. And I was just like, and then when I read that, I was like, man, I should have got on there and posted something about that, because people just don't know. They just see that name and they know, you know, that, well, whey protein has antibiotics, but you would think if you saw green tea also that it has caffeine in it, but it doesn't. So that's why we got to know what these products are, because if somebody would have asked me and it has green tea in it, I would have been like, yeah, because green tea has caffeine in it. I wouldn't have thought they've taken it out. So those are things that are important, because people are going to want to know, well, how do you get energy from it if it don't have caffeine in it? Well, then you learn from these different ingredients that we've talked about, the superfoods and the superfruits, that, you know, so, because what I thought about doing is writing down some of these benefits and then putting the names of the fruits out. So we could just, if we knew somebody had that, we could look for that symptom and just say that name so they could look it up, because you want them to research what they're drinking too. So this has all kind of changed the way that now that I'm talking to people about this shake. And literally, you know, this is still new for me. I mean, literally just within the past week or 10 days, I've been kind of doing all this research. But people now, I'm telling them, I'm like, listen, before I even tell them the price, I'm like, here's what this is. This is a nutrition shake. I explained some of this to them, and I go through this, and I said, listen, this is a replacement cost. So no matter what I tell you the cost is, we're going to have to sit down, and this is going to replace a meal for you. So we're going to look at your grocery bill. What are you spending on grocery bills? What are you buying to snack on? You know, what are you buying for your breakfast? You know, we need to look at that first, because this is going to tie into your grocery bill now. This is going to tie into your, you know, your monthly vitamin bill. because you're not going to have to buy those anymore, these supplements. Because if they would have been talking to me, if that would have been Rebecca to me, she would have told me, well, cancel those 3 or 4 vitamin supplements you take every day. Cancel that super green powder you put in your protein shake every day. And now she just saved me $60 a month just by cutting out those few things. I talk all this now before I even get to the price of the Shakeology, because I'm treating it like it's an everyday expense now. This is something that it's not just $4 a day. This is going to replace something you're spending on a day. Now, for me, it would have been all those things I just said and a Starbucks coffee on top of that, because I was a big, bad coffee drinker. I mean, I would go multiple times a week. So this is cheaper for me since I cut out all that stuff. I mean, Jackie and I talk about this. I would even go and buy healthy chips and just healthy, what I would think, Special K or whatever these healthy chips are. You spend $4 a bag, or even a box of Cheez-Its or something, whatever your snack is, and eat most of those in a setting or two. And it's like, this was all the time. So I talk these things with people before because I want them to know this is investing in you. And if you can't figure out a way to make it happen, then we can sit down and look at your grocery bill. Because I can assure you, I've even told them, I'll get groceries with you. I'll walk through there and show you, Now I know for me, I mean, I buy more things now that I've been doing this for a while, and I'll buy some, different things that I don't need all the time, like some different butters, like cashew butters or walnut butter, just to try certain things. And people are going to do that with their groceries over time. But I think showing them that this is an actual investment in them, but it's part of their replacement every day. So they need to find something in their day to replace this $4. So it won't hurt them as bad when you tell them it's $129 a month. Because they're going to be like, well, what's the difference in that and a $59 shake, at GNC? Well, we're telling them now, you can't get this anywhere else. You can buy that shake all you want, and it's going to have your vitamins and minerals in it, but it's not going to help you with any of these things we've talked about. If you really need help with the diabetes and the fatigue, you've got to get these nutrients. And the great thing about this is, and the guy that this Darren Olean, who, was a founder of this, or I guess the creator of it, all these are put together in a combination that works, which is important, because anybody could throw 70 ingredients into a bag and pray that it's healthy because you put everything in there. But what I'm learning also by all of this is that you can definitely overdo vitamins and minerals. I mean, if you take too much vitamin C, it could cause stomach cramps. You could get diarrhea. There's definitely things, too much vitamin A, things like that can damage your liver. So you do need to watch the extra things that you take. So it's easy to tell people, well, you don't need those supplements every day now, unless a doctor obviously prescribes them something. That's a whole different ballgame. But I'm just talking multivitamins, little, hair, skin, and nail vitamins, or whatever, that people take. These will cover that and what they need per day. And another question I get often, is, can they drink the shake twice a day? I've had people ask me that before. And from what I have read and understand, yes, they can do that as long as they don't give up more than 2 meals a day. So you got to keep your meals going to have 2 shakes a day because of the nutrients and the vitamins. I'm sure you've got to have some food to offset that. So that's about all I have. I know I talk fast.
Girl, that is like mind blowing. That is so awesome. Number one, like the delivery of your message. I'm just saying, from a leader's perspective, girl, that's awesome, because you know what you know. And I love, because you're not apologetic for what you know. Like, you've researched it and you know what you know, and you are convicted. Like, this is the truth. This is really what's in here. And like you said, it's not even about the price. Before anybody even gets to the price, it's like, you know what, you got to know, like what you were saying, of asking questions. What are the ailments? And then Jackie, for sure, is like, and that's, and I just did a post. I put it on the wall. Like, I just did a quick little video. Any of you can share it. But the fact that every single face that I see on this call, and Teresa is on here too, every single person on here has a before and after picture. There's something that, all of us have been on here long term. We feel better. We have a testimony, and it's not just a fad. Nobody on this call hasn't been just a fad. It's something that truly, truly works. And that is, she's in her PJs. I'm usually in my PJs. But yeah,
Well,
wow.
there's competition. You know, we have to know because there's so much competition. I mean, I remember asking you, well, I'm already taking a shake. What do I need to buy this Shakeology for? You know, because I didn't want to, I'd already spent $100 on this other shake and I didn't want to waste my money. And so it's like, I don't want to just be telling people, well, just take it. It's like, I want them to know. But like I said, when I realized how important some of these ingredients are and how vital they are, like, and I wanted my mom, like if I'm going to give, and Jackie's mom is 90 years old and she drinks it too. Like she loves it and it's so good for them. You know, I'm even going to start giving a little bit to Delaney in the morning, and she's only 6. They do say minimum age of 18. I did read that in one of their posts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I think only because, you know, they're not sure of all the nutrients and being young. But I just figured even if I gave her a little bit, and that was another question, was whether you can heat it up or not. That is still a huge debate because I've always read no, that you shouldn't heat it up. But then I have a customer who signed up back in January, and she called and sent me they told her, yes, that you can heat it up, you can cook it, you can do all that stuff, that it wouldn't damage it. But I find that hard to believe because if you just listen to what we learned, you know, you can't heat it over 115 degrees to keep from damaging what's in there naturally. And you know, an oven's going to be over 115 degrees. So what I read from Shakeology's postings was do not heat it up over 110 degrees because at 115 degrees, it destroys the nutrients in there. So, I mean, I don't know, I'm getting, you know, both sides of the fence here, but just to be safe, I mean, I would try to stick with like Shakeology balls or the bars or something like that, because I'm not going to waste my money and damage, you know, it's just like eating vegetables. I'm not going to put myself through eating raw or just plain broccoli to boil it on the stove and not get anything out of it. I better be getting the nutrients out of it. So,
Yeah.
So that is something that is debatable that I'm sure people have probably asked you.
Yeah, I have seen that before. I've been asked that, and I've seen that debate, and same thing. It is a debate. But yeah, I totally hear you. Cookie dough balls with vanilla are yummy. My husband has. Anybody have any questions? Anything?
I hope not.
Or any? You're like, I gave it all. I know nothing more.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Patty.
What is the difference? Why do you drink the vegan Shakeology versus the regular Shakeology, and what difference are there in the ingredients, if you know?
Yeah, I did read that there's very, very minimal difference. I think I know the difference is the animal protein versus the plant protein. The plant protein in the vegan is, I don't know how to describe it. When I make a regular animal protein shake, which is the cafe latte, or that's what I had before, it's a little foamier and thicker, maybe, if that's a good description. And then when I make the vegan, which is the plant protein, it is has more flavor to me. The flavor comes out better, and it's not as thick and foamy. It's a thinner texture consistency, if that makes sense. So I like that consistency, and I like the richer taste. That's what it is. I taste the chocolate more rich in the vegan than I do in the animal protein shake.
Very good.
Can I ask what I mean, because I really honestly haven't read. So what is the animal protein that you're talking about? What is that a derivative of?
Well, that's the whey and all that. The
whey protein?
Yeah, the protein that I know that if I do the chocolate vegan, it's that pea protein, mostly pea protein in that.
Okay. Thank you.
Miriam might know a little bit about the protein from Ultimate Reset. Because we had to do different proteins and we had to stay away. We had to have protein, but eventually when you do Ultimate Reset, you're coming off of all animal proteins. And that third week, you're still getting protein from like tofu and soy. And because as a breast cancer survivor, them saying that the cancer I battled, I'm not going to call it my cancer because it's the cancer I battled, was estrogen fed. So they were, and so they were just saying, stay away from soy, stay away from things like that. But I honestly think that if you are healthy and staying away from the sugar and all of the junk, that your body, I've read books too, that soy is actually good for you, getting away from some of the animal protein. But I don't know. That's debatable. I don't know. Do you know anything?
On the soy, so on the soy, it's the difference is fermented soy versus the other types of.
Oh.
So the tofu and the what is it, the tempeh? I don't know how you say that. That is fermented soy. I don't know what the difference is because I didn't eat that. I ducked out on that. Yeah, but that I think is the difference. So sorry, I was distracted. So that was the difference in the soy as far as the soy, but the vegan stuff, it's and they want you to do that on the Ultimate Reset because of the whey and the dairy. So you're getting rid of dairy too, and that's in the regular Shakeology. But I was curious, Tammy, how you like exactly how do you approach people that say, "What, I already have a protein shake," or people that, because like I had 2 people recently that say, "Well, there's ingredients in Shakeology that I can't drink."
I had that actually. I had a girl who had cancer, and she came to me and she wanted to meet me at my house. And we pulled out the bag and she looked and she saw it had, I think I had talked to Rebecca about this. I think it had flax and that chia seed or chia seed, however you say it. And she told me that her doctor said she couldn't have it because she had estrogen-based cancer. And so since I didn't know, I researched that and I didn't find that to be true. So I found a couple of medical articles that I just sent to her. And because I said, give me some time, let me research it, So I researched it, sent her the articles, and she hasn't gotten back with me yet. But I told her, I said, read those articles, take them to your doctor. I'm just curious if maybe you misunderstood. I'm just saying. But if people do, when they come to me and they're like, well, I already do a protein shake. I'm like, yeah, but you don't do a protein shake like this. I said, because what you're telling me, because most time, like if they say like, I'm just so tired, I don't have any motivation, I'm like, but that's why this has these superfoods and these super fruits in it. This isn't just your vitamins and minerals that you're getting. These are specifically designed to help you with that energy level. And I've been doing this a while. I've got plenty of people to witness me, and so I go to them that way and saying, you can check out my page and you can talk to any of these girls. They are witnesses as long as as well as myself, that's what this is for. And now I challenge people, try it for a month. Is a full empty bag money back guarantee with Shakeology. They can return that empty bag and get all their money back in 30 days if it doesn't work or if they don't see a difference. That's pretty amazing that they'll do that. So I challenge people 1 month. Give it 1 month.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments or thoughts?
Have been doing it for a couple of months and then they fall off. Like how would you approach them? Like they stopped doing Shakeology and you noticed like they didn't say anything to you. They just canceled their order and stuff like that. How would you approach that? Would you ask them, how did you feel? I mean, I don't know how to approach that because I've had a couple, quit and I just didn't know if I should just ignore it or if I should, like ask them questions to see what's going on or what their thought process was. I don't know. How would you?
Yeah. I've definitely had that. As a matter of fact, because when I was talking to Jatana the other day, and because I hit Success Club the first few months, and then all of a sudden, bam, nothing. Even all my people seemed to drop, or not all of them, but a lot just dropped off. They just quit doing it. And I was just telling Jackie this today. I was like they just don't even say anything to me. They just don't show up in the new group, and it's like, I'm Facebooking them. So I do, like today I had to do it, and I texted a girl, and I'm like, what happened? Is everything okay? Or you not, and she's like, well, I just can't afford it, and she's going through a divorce. So, I understand that, but I do reach out to them. And I even offer, one of the girls just this weekend, I said, well, if you can't afford it, maybe sometimes we can go in half and buy, and because a lot of times I like to do that to buy extra, and I'll just buy another, thing of it and split it half. I don't do that all the time, but like Jackie's done that occasionally when she needs extra, because that's how I've tried all the different shakes. I'll buy an extra box, and instead of paying the $100 again, I'll go in half with somebody. So I have offered that to people to help them get them through a little bit longer if they really want to stay on it. But most of the time it just comes down to money. They just can't keep paying for it. And then you can't do anything about that. And I see Rachel have a list. I thought about writing out the list of, like I said, all the benefits that, because you're asking if I would do a list. So that's what I was going to do. I was going to do a list of all like the benefits of it, or, you know, what it helps. And then that way, if somebody calls and they're like, oh, I'm fatigued, or then you can look for fatigued and see, you know, and then you can kind of match it out. And that would be helpful. Again, to kind of make it sound like, yeah, we know what we're talking about, because we'll never know everything. But the more we can say and the more terms that we can use, you don't have to list all these ingredients, but you can be like, you know, this is what these superfruits do. That's what these superfoods do, you know, and it'll make you just make them more comfortable to spend this money. I think knowing that we know what we're talking about, because otherwise they just think we're just trying to sell them this package or sell them this shake. And I don't want to do that. And when that lady came to me with the cancer, it just kind of freaked me out, because I was just like, you know, I really feel like I should know the answer to this. You know, what does flaxseed do? I don't know. I've just heard it's healthy, so I just throw it in my shake, you know? And it's like, I don't want to be like that. I mean, we've got to know what we're selling. So I will do that.
You know, another thing too is the tactic that I use and a lot of people will use is answering your any of these questions or problems that you know that people have, answering them publicly so that people can see it on your wall. Like, so if you're already getting price objections, then go on your wall, you know, and say, this is how I afford it. Or if somebody just stopped, then, you know, I would go and say, oh, I would, you know, so it's not directed towards them or, you know, whatever, but just kind of generally speaking, I try to write my list or mentally think of my list of all of the excuses. And I just try to post about it publicly because people are watching. They are attracted, number one, to our results, kind of like what Shailene said today too, of they're attracted to our personalities. And when people get to a point where they trust you and know, like hearing Tammy talk, I would sign under her in a minute because of her personality and her, like, I know what I'm talking about. And she has professional, you know, your pick monkeys are professional looking and, you know, you're actually doing your workout. I see you on Instagram. You're crossing out over every single day when you're working out. Like, I see your consistency. I'm seeing your results and whatever. And then for most people, but although not always, I've had probably in this year and a half, maybe 5 people that really wanted to know what Shakeology does. Like, meaning I want the ingredients, you know, and I need the science behind it. But I love what Tammy said, like, oh, are you dealing with cancer? This has this in it. Oh, are you dealing with fibromyalgia? Then this has this in it. You know, hey, all my fibromyalgia, I just learned something. You know, so kind of like just publicly talking about that. And if you sit down on a Sunday and plan your posts, and I've got to get better with doing that because I want to do that. I want to sit down and think of the list of people who are tired, people who have newborn babies, you know, or whatever those things are, and start attacking those things publicly.
And you'll be able to with this list if we put these, because I've already thought about it. All these things that it does, you can make a post out of every single one of those. And I've also dealt with another reason which made me investigate the Shakeology. I've had a pregnant woman and I've had breastfeeding. I've had both of those early on when I started coaching a few months back. And so I've had to research that to figure out, you know, can they do this? And, you know, sure enough, they can. And I've even had one of my girls, you know, take it to her doctor. And, you know, so both times now I had one girl drop out because she was pregnant. She just didn't want to, but I think it was just an excuse. But, so I've had a lot of those come up, and so once we do this list, these would be great posts.
You know what? We could do that. Just like my cleaning thing on my like page, we could do, I'm finding that 30 days is a little long, but like do a 1 week blast of perks of Shakeology. You know what I mean? Like you could do that on I don't know. That's one perk of having a like page versus doing it on your private wall. But people still watch. I mean, if I didn't have a like page, I'd do it on my wall. But you know what I mean? We could do that together as a team and just, you know.
I did a post when I guess when I first started doing this and found out, I did a post of me drinking my shake and it says, guess what my shake has that yours doesn't? And I listed just some of those weird names and put what they do. I just did like 5 of them or whatever. But, it was a cute picture. But I'm sure people are like, what? What's that name? I don't know.
Wow, that's great. I love it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Make sure we're not like saying that it cures anything.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's one thing.
Yeah, you definitely got to watch terminology.
I know a lot of companies out there that, you get flagged for stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I have a lot of friends who are vegan, and the whole vegan thing, actually I have a lot of friends who are raw vegan. And so when they do raw, it has to be under that 115 degrees. So I have a dehydrator. And when I was making kale chips and different things like that, it had to be under 115 degrees process. Otherwise, they couldn't eat it. So because it does kill a lot of the nutrients. So I think for me, I'd rather make things that are non-baking, like the energy balls and things like that. Because I know that all those nutrients are still going to be good and pack a punch. So
yeah,
that's good. Any other questions? Gosh, Tammy, that was so good. Thank you. Like, you helped us in so many ways, not just like just being real. Like, I honestly don't care what's in the shake. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, just give it to me. It's gonna make me. That's how I jumped into it. Teresa was probably different. I don't know if she analyzed it or not. Melinda was probably different. I don't know. You were obviously different. But knowing now from a business perspective, because I don't like, I'm just like, give me the shake. As long as I know that there's no chemicals. Now, I did look at the bag and I did look to see if there was chemicals in it. Because I'm not a chemicals person. Because of cancer, I won't like take chemical stuff. So I did go that far, but I wasn't concerned about the Golgi berries and whatever. But especially from a business perspective, and you have people that this can help give them energy, that they can have life again, that they can have quality of life. I am all about that. So you've given us so much to help us.
I think my difference too with me, and Jackie would vouch, is we're an older group too. A lot of the Beachbody generation that we're seeing too is a lot younger. Yeah, I know. So it's like I do have older. I don't have many in our group that, gosh, I don't know, with Jackie, what, under 40 or 45? I don't know. We're all over that. So it's been a little different having a little bit older crowd to deal with, because we all feel like, oh my God, we can't do what these 20-year-olds are doing in 30, but we just figure we're going to go out rocking this thing, no matter how old we are. Because I didn't care what was in the thing either. I trusted you. You were getting results, and that's all I wanted. But now, because of the people and the ages that I'm dealing with, it's like I got to kind of know. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think that fits the bill for most people. It's for most people it is. They want whatever the result is. I mean, for some people it's to get skinny. For other people it's to, just to be healthy, or a meal replacement. I've had people that one person literally just does not want to. She's from church. She's not on Facebook. She just wanted the shake. She just wanted it for the nutritional value. That's it. So.
I have people who, like, even today I was talking with a gal that she says, Miriam, I can't do shakes. Like, she says, I don't know if it's the texture, the consistency, whatever. Like, she just struggles with shakes. And I think when I first got started, a lot of my friends, they're just not shake people. And so that was a challenge. And that still has been a challenge, because I have everybody that they're challenging. But, with me, sometimes the taste was a little different at first. But knowing that you're putting such good nutrients in your body, I think that taste gets better. I don't know, but you have to get outside of your head. And I think that, like, my friend today, she said, I'm probably in my own head and thinking too much about it, but I just can't do shakes. and not rely on a shake. That's kind of the one of the main things I get in regards to the shake, that and price, of course. But
I have a girl who started with me back when I started, and she hated it. I mean, she didn't do shakes anyway. She told me from the get-go, I'll buy it, but I do not do shakes. And I'm like, well, just try it. Because I didn't like it at first. Rebecca will tell you. As the first week, I just kept texting her complaining, like, I just can't drink this thing. I love shakes, and I don't know, I can't drink it. So anyway, I got this girl to get it. She hated it. Canceled the membership. She canceled it, sent it all back. She didn't want it. Well, I ended up talking to her into trying it again, trying a different flavor. And one of the key things is the consistency, I find, for people. And adding a banana or even yogurt to any of those shakes will help with the consistency. Make it a little bit smoother where, you know, I don't know what it is if they don't like it, but a lot of times that helps tremendously. That even helped with me, just adding even the half a banana to that shake. And it's all because of the consistency. It makes it easier. Either, I don't know if it's a swallow thing or just the texture on their tongue. I don't know, but that helped her. And now she told me she's doing it every day and she loves it. So it's just taking a little bit of time and trying a couple things.
Spinach. Yep, spinach makes it smooth. Yeah, makes it creamy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, Tammy. I'm going to hang on. I'm going to end the call, but we're not going to hop off. So let me hit stop.